One day, Thomas stopped at Knapford Station to pick up passengers. Diesel was at the platform next to Thomas. As Thomas was idling in the station, he let off steam.
Oh, wee!
Diesel screeched disgustedly. That is hazardous to the passengers, and more importantly, to me. Thomas just ignored him. Don't you know that smut you puff out can cause damage? At that moment, Norman came into the station shunting some trucks. He heard everything Diesel said and was clearly annoyed with him. He can't help it, Diesel. That's how steam engines stop their boilers from getting clogged up. You've only proved my point. Old, out of date, and a danger to everyone's health. And then Diesel rolled out of the station laughing. Not long after, the guard blew the whistle and Thomas set off down the line. But as he did, he couldn't stop thinking about what Diesel had said. What if I am harming my passengers? Thomas called to his driver. Nonsense, Thomas. You haven't made one passenger sick yet, and I'm sure he won't be starting to anytime soon. Your steam is harmless, Thomas. Don't let what that Diesel said get to you. When Thomas got to the next station, he tried not to let off steam. James was at the platform next to him and noticed Thomas straining. Huh! What are you playing at, Thomas? Thomas dared not answer, or else he'd hiss steam. The second all his passengers were in the coaches, he let out a loud whee! Dirty steam covered the station, and it took several minutes to clear up. Ah, that's torn it, said James. But Thomas wasn't listening to James, and he set off down the line, out of breath. That's trouble indeed, James said to himself. As Thomas continued on his journey, his driver started becoming concerned. Thomas, you need to release steam. But Thomas didn't care what his driver said. Nonsense! It's just water vapor. If you don't, your boiler could build up with... I'll be fine, scoffed Thomas, and he went about his work. The next day, when Thomas went to collect his passengers, he was still not letting off steam. However, Thomas was struggling when he tried to leave the station, and then just after leaving, he came to a complete stop. What's wrong? Asked the fireman. The driver was puzzled. It's like there's no water in the boiler to make steam. Then, all of a sudden, steam started to hiss from Thomas's safety valve. The driver and fireman quickly uncoupled Thomas from Annie and Clarabelle and got him out of the way of the station. Thomas felt like he was going to explode. Thomas's fireman doused the fire, and then an inspector came to check on Thomas.
Well, Thomas's feed pipe seems to be blocked, but we can't check on it until the firebox has completely cooled down.
So Thomas was shunted into a shed where he stayed for a couple of days. While he was gone, Percy and Toby took turns doing Thomas's work. A few days later, Thomas had his boiler cleaned out. Thomas's boiler was filled with dirt and soot. After Thomas was cleared to go back to work, Sir Topham Hatt came to see him.
Well, Thomas, you've been causing a lot of trouble lately. So tell me, what is the meaning of this?
So Thomas told Sir Topham Hatt everything. Diesel told me that my steam was hazardous to everyone's health, so I decided not to let off steam.
Well, Thomas, you shouldn't have listened to what Diesel said. By not letting off steam, you could have caused a serious accident and have done damage to either yourself or someone else. I hope you remember this, Thomas.
I will, sir, whistled Thomas, and he puffed away to collect his coaches.